Hey guys, you know how much I love making favorites videos, so I couldn't resist doing one for January. This is my first sit down video in a really, really long time. It feels really good to be sitting here in the chair, and like I promised, I would be throwing in a couple of sit down videos here and there, although I've really been enjoying vlogging. I feel like I'm like connecting with you guys a lot more. I feel like we're having some really good like chats in the comments, and I feel like I can really talk to you about like some personal things or whatever. So I'm really enjoying the vlogging, but here we are. We're doing a sit down video, and I couldn't think of a better reason than doing favorites. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I have quite a few skincare products. I have a perfume, and I do have some makeup products, although I do feel like I've been wearing a lot of the same things that I've already talked about this past month. I really haven't purchased that much new makeup. I've had some sent to me in PR, but let me go ahead and just share with you my favorite perfume. As of late, I'm laughing because I'm so obsessed with this. I just wrote a blog post about, spoiling yourself for Valentine's Day and some great gift ideas that you can gift yourself. And this was probably the impetus behind it because, I just love it so much. So I think this video is going to go up before a vlog that I do where I'm touring the Diptyque boutique here at Caesars, which is the brand new one. There is an existing Diptyque boutique at the Wynn. So they built their second one here, and I was lucky enough to get a tour of the store. Anyway, I walked away purchasing this Orela perfume. So this is the box that it comes in. There's actually some other outer packaging, which I've already discarded. And this particular fragrance is not even available in all of the Diptyque boutiques. It's like one of their very, very special ones. So this is what the bottle looks like. Isn't that so cool? And this is refillable, like a lot of Diptyque products are actually refillable. It has this gold plaque on there. A lot of the Diptyque fragrances and their candles or whatever have that white label on there. This one is a very special gold label, and on the other side, you can see some other artwork. Anyway, on to what the perfume actually smells like. So it is really best described the way it was described to me at the boutique, which is leather with notes of raspberry. And I think that's why I like it for this time of year. Leather is a very deep, warm, I guess traditionally masculine kind of fragrance, and I like that for wintertime. Like leathers and tobacco and things like that, smoke, wood fire, those kinds of notes I really enjoy for the wintertime. It makes me feel like I'm nesting. It makes me feel like I'm sitting by a fireplace, even if I'm not, or sitting in a huge, overgrown leather lounge chair, even though I'm not. It just gives me that feeling. But then the raspberries give it this really unexpected, sweet, crisp, like note in there, and it just brightens everything up. So it kind of gives me the sense that spring is coming. And I just love those combination of notes for this like late winter, early springtime where you get like a little bit of both. So that is Orela, and I have been wearing it nonstop. I've even gotten into the really bad, wasteful habit of just kind of spraying it in the room and spraying it in my bathroom. Yeah, I need to stop that. Or Diptyque, if you're watching this, you need to come out with a candle, an Orela candle. I would buy a bunch. Anyway, let's move on. So that's a fragrance that I've really been loving, if you could not tell. Let's move on to some skincare because, again, I've been wearing like a lot of the same makeup, but I've been playing around with a lot more skincare. I actually got some really wonderful things in PR. So the first thing I want to mention is something that I did get in PR, but like it feels like a gazillion years ago. It's probably just a few months ago. And it's been sitting on my vanity. And I just kind of forgot that I had it. But just recently, my skin has been feeling extremely dry, whether it's the season, whether it's my age, whether it's whatever my body is going through. I've just been feeling, especially underneath my eyes, parched, where they're almost like itchy. So I remembered that I had the Kjaer Weis, the Beautiful Eye Balm. And I remember when I first got this and first used it, I actually really liked it on my lips. It's really just a beautiful kind of like all-purpose balm. There's a slight chamomile fragrance, but that dissipates very, very quickly. It's a pretty firm, dense balm, so you kind of have to like warm it up a little bit. But I like that because you don't end up with too much product and you just sort of press it into wherever you need it. I also, like if I have any extra on my finger, I will apply it to like any dry cuticles. My hands tend to get really, really dry in the wintertime. So it's one of those amazing all-purpose balms. But what I've noticed is now that I've started using it underneath my eyes, I feel like my concealer, my makeup, everything goes on over it so much more beautifully. So this has not only turned into a wonderful like addition to my skincare routine, but it's a really great kind of first step to makeup as well. Like it's a great primer in a way. So if you feel like your under eyes are feeling extra special dry these days, or if they're, I don't know, maybe just feeling like a little crepey, I feel like you would really enjoy this. It's just very effective. It's almost like as if it was one of those really rich eye creams, but it's not. It's not. Like once you warm it up, it's actually like a pretty thin texture. And I really like that, especially as sort of like a makeup primer, not like an evening skincare routine sort of step. It's a great makeup primer because it is so thin, it doesn't interfere with your makeup. So I've really been loving this Kjaer Weis, The Beautiful Eye Balm. If you guys have been watching my vlogs and watching me kind of get ready for the day, you probably have been noticing me throw this on either over or under my concealer. I threw it on over my concealer one day because I just went in straight with my concealer and I was like, oh, my eyes feel so dry. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this on right on top. And because this isn't like super goopy or anything, it didn't interfere with my concealer. I just sort of like patted it right on top. It made my eye skin feel so much better and my concealer didn't move. So it was pretty amazing. And speaking of concealer, I'm still continuing to use the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I love the new one or new version of it as much as I love the old version. I'm using shade 2N and it's great. I'm not gonna linger too long because I've been mentioning that as my favorite for like, I don't know, like a year now. So we'll move on. Some other skincare products that I've been enjoying. So these two were actually sent to me from Tatcha. This is kind of a, I don't want to say repurchase, but I fell in love with Tatcha because of this product. And I want to say this was probably like 8 or 9 years ago, but I was at the Barney's on the Upper West Side. That's when I was actually first introduced to Tatcha. And I was like, oh, what is this brand? I was so excited to hear about it. And it was the winter time. And I remember my skin was just so dry from like head to toe. And the very kind sales associate there was like, why don't you try the body butter? And I think they had, you know, like a tester there. And the fragrance, the texture, the way my skin felt, oh, it's so good. It just has a super, super light, I think it's like camellia flower, I think is the fragrance, but it's so light. It's so fresh and light and brightening. Oh, and then this texture is wonderful. So let me see. I don't know if you get a sense of this, but it is really, really moisturizing. It's really comfortable on the skin. It's not too oily. It's not too thick where I feel like, you know, you're just spending like time warming it up and spreading it out. It just is a really nice kind of like fluffy kind of texture. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's very calming for my very reactive skin. It's just the perfect texture because I don't like the feeling of lotion on my body. I just don't like it. I feel like when I put my clothes on after I've put lotion all over my body, I just feel like gross. And I don't get that feeling with this Indigo Body Butter. It's light but very effective. It absorbs beautifully. It leaves my skin feeling really soft but not lotiony. You know what I'm saying? So I love this body butter and have for a very long time. And they just sent it to me in PR and it was one of those products I was like, oh, I love you so much. I've been kind of cheating on this using different body butters over the years, but this is like a holy grail. This is an amazing body butter. And then they also sent me one of their new products from their Hinoki line, and this is their body wash. So I've only been using this for a couple of weeks, but I thought it was worth mentioning because I have such dry body skin that I love a body wash that has a little bit of exfoliation going on. So this has some very gentle, like exfoliating beads in there. And it's just great. It's just that little extra that I need because my skin is so scaly. It's so scaly. And if you guys have watched me for a while, you know, like the fronts of my shins Oh my God, like they just, yeah, it looks like snakeskin. Anyway, this has been great for it because the body wash itself isn't very drying, but my skin feels clean. And then it has those extra little scrubby bits in there, which I really, really love. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 step because usually I use a body wash and then I have to exfoliate my body. And most days I don't have time for that. So this is kind of like a 2-for-1. And I love that. The fragrance in here is also, just like the Indigo Body Butter, very, very light. It's different. It is more, I guess, like more fresh. That doesn't, I don't know. It's more fresh, I guess, than the Indigo Body Butter, which is, it's still very light and it's a little bit more floral. This is actually much like the tube. It's very, like if you close your eyes, it's a very kind of like green fragrance. So I love this. Absolutely love this. So those are pretty much all of my skincare fragrance favorites that I wanted to mention. This next product kind of crosses the line, I think, between skincare and makeup. And these are new to me, but yeah, I've really been loving them. So these are from City Beauty. These are the City Lips Plumping Lip Gloss. And I've really been enjoying clear. It's clear, but there's like a little bit of milkiness to it, which you can probably see. So your lips definitely look like there's been like a filter applied to them. And then this one, which is what I have on my lips, is Pink Nude. I think these are one of the very popular products from City Beauty, but they're a product I just never tried because I assumed, which is never a good thing to do, but I assumed that because these were marketed as a plumping lip gloss, that there was some sort of minty sort of situation going on. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. So I finally tried them and I'm like, oh, they're not minty at all. They're not minty at all. But they are a gloss that is a little bit on the thicker side, and they are just a touch sticky. But because of that, because of the thickness, because of the little bit of stickiness to them, they last a long time. Like I've been wearing this lip gloss for a couple of hours, and I'm usually like a lip gloss monster. I put it on, even if I don't eat or drink anything, if I'm just talking or whatever, just sitting there doing work, it will just disappear. It will just be absorbed wherever it goes. This has been hanging out on my lips for a while now, like 3 or 4 hours. So I really enjoy that. The stickiness, like I said, it's very, very light, so it's very bearable. It's not like your lips actually get stuck, but there's like a little bit there. I just love this color. I think it's a very, very pretty My Lips But Better kind of color, maybe a little bit lighter than that. Maybe not quite a My Lips But Better, a little bit lighter than that, but it's very pretty. And the clear I tend to put on before I go to sleep. So I end up kind of using this as a lip mask because it is kind of thick. It just hangs out on my lips. If I put this on in bed before I go to sleep, it is most definitely there when I wake up. My lips feel like really nourished. And like I said, kind of like a lip mask, which is why I kind of consider it kind of like a skincare product and also kind of like makeup. But I'm such a big fan of these and I can't believe I just made the assumption that they were like minty when they're not and have gone without them for so long. But these are really great and I'm not surprised that this is one of City Beauty's like bestsellers. So anyway, just wanted to mention those. And then let's get into some like newer makeup releases that I've really, really been enjoying. So the Tower 28 Juice Bombs. I love these. I mean, I love Tower 28. I love their cream blushes. I love their Bronzino, like the cream bronzer, the cream highlight. Like I love Tower 28. Their tinted moisturizer. Their products are incredible. This Juice Bomb, however, really blew my mind because I thought, oh, look how cute. It's like a little crayon. It's called Juice Balm. So I'm like, all right, it's a tinted lip balm. Great. The colors, now this one I'm holding is Squeeze, and I probably have been wearing this one and the shade Mix the most, which I'll flash up here. But this one is Squeeze, which is just, oh, like I cannot wait for the summertime because this is the perfect like poolside summertime kind of color. It is just this really bright reddish orange. It's so much fun. Now, I was shocked at how pigmented these were, like pleasantly shocked because I thought, oh, a tinted balm, okay. These are really well pigmented tinted balms. They're really, really beautiful on the lips. And for a tinted balm, they last a long time on my lips. I mean, not like all day. They're not like transfer proof or anything. But if you think of like a tinted balm, much like a lip gloss, I think, oh, okay, if I'm just sitting here in an hour or so, it's just gonna be gone. This lasted on my lips like all day, even after a couple of drinks. I remember I had a latte and then I came home and I had a seltzer and I still had like plenty on my lips. I felt like I didn't need to reapply if I didn't feel like it, if I didn't want to. I was just really impressed. I was really impressed with how these really felt like a tinted balm, but they kind of wore a little bit more like a lipstick. So really, really wonderful product. And they came out with 4 shades. Squeeze and Mix are the 2 shades that I personally love. Mix is a little bit more neutral, a little bit more, natural for those kind of like no makeup days. It is perfect. So I've been loving that. I have also really been loving these new Hourglass Satin Creme lipstick. Is that the full name? Unlocked Satin Creme lipsticks. And I'm holding up the color Shore, but the other shade that I've really been enjoying is called Oasis, which I'll flash up here. This Shore shade, look at that. It's a perfect kind of like milk chocolatey shade for the lips. And the shade range is gorgeous. I have a whole bunch. Like I said, this one and Oasis are the 2 that I've been reaching for the most. But really what kind of not caught my eye, caught my attention is the formula of these lipsticks. They really remind me, the creaminess, how they apply, how they wear, how they look. They really remind me of the Tom Ford lipsticks. They even have that slight like vanilla scent to them. If you're looking for an alternative or just a change, these Hourglass ones are really incredible. Just a really super smooth, beautiful formula. I'm really, really hoping, Hourglass, if you're watching, I'm sending out a lot of messages to companies. Hourglass, if you're watching, I would love, love, love if they came out with shades that had just a little bit of like a sheen to them, like a little bit of like pearlescent or like metallic sheen to them. Nothing like micro glittery or anything like that, but just like a little something, because all of the shades they came out with this time around, as far as I know, correct me down below in the comment section if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, all of the shades that they came out with are just like a satin cream straight up kind of color. So anyway, I really have been loving these. And the next product I've been loving, I purchased these and I tried to make a shorts. It didn't work. But I've been using these for a couple of weeks now, or at least since the release of these. I ordered them, I believe, on the first day. So actually, maybe it's been less than 2 weeks. It's been less than 2 weeks. But these are the Jones Road bronzers. And so I picked up Light Tan and Dusty Rose and one Bobbi Brown bronzer called Antigua really turned me on to the idea of like a very cool toned pink being a great bronzer. I have a very light skin tone. It in parts has a very cool undertone, not everywhere though, which is a mystery. But I've been using this Dusty Rose as just kind of like an all over face color. So I've been using it to contour, to bronze. I'm putting it where I blush, and it literally is the only powder product that I have on my face today. I use the Dior concealer, and then I just threw this on pretty much like all over. So that's what you see like as contour, that's what you see as like blush, that's what you see as bronzer up here. And it just works. I think if you have a light, cool skin tone, I think you would really love this. Even if you don't have like an extremely cool skin tone, I think this may work for you if you have a lighter skin tone, because the pink really mimics that flush versus a tan, like a straight up tan. And I do feel like when I spend time in the sun, the color of my skin generally is more of a flush than it is a tan. And then, and then it goes away and maybe I get a tan. But the flush, I think, for me, really mimics like having been in the sun. So I really love that. And then Light Tan, I will use if I just want like a more traditional kind of just tan kind of bronzer shade. But I really like the formula of these. They're just a pressed powder, nothing fancy. They're not baked or anything like that. They are on the softer side. So if you use a big like bronzer brush like this one from Sonia G, just be careful. Just be careful. If you like take a stab, you'll have a lot of product on your brush. So yeah, just be gentle. Be gentle with these. But these are really wonderful. They're very smooth and they're matte, which is nice because that's just very universal and just, the most versatile kind of bronzer. So loving those. And then I had to shout out Surratt. So I've been using Surratt a lot this past month, and I've talked about Surratt on my channel a lot. I have a lot of the eyeshadows, I have a lot of the blushes, but I just wanted to call out the eyeshadows because it's like every time I use a Surratt product, the eyeshadows included, I just fall in love with it all over again, and I love it even more the more I use it. So today, and I'll list all of these shades down below in my description box, but today I have this shade, which is Vison, V-I-S-O-N. I have that pretty much all over my lid. And then I have this shade, Patine, which is like this taupey gray with just the slightest bit of a lilac undertone. So it keeps it pretty cool. I have that on the outer corners. And then what I use to kind of line my eyes and deepen my lash line is the Brun Noir. So this is just one combination that I've been loving. There's just something very, very special about the Surratt formula for the eyeshadows and the blushes. They use this exclusive like slurry technology to create these. So they're kind of like a baked product, but they also kind of perform just like a pressed powder, but then they apply like a hybrid. They're just very, very interesting. I'm not explaining it well at all, but they just go on like a dream. They go on like a powder and then they just sort of like melt. Oh my God, they're incredible. Anyway, I could go on and on, but what I wanted to mention was I have a coupon code for Surratt Beauty. So they reached out to me and I have a 15% off coupon code, which is just Michelle15. I'll flash it up on the screen and I'll put it down below in the description box. But 15% off all the products on the Surratt Beauty site, which is fantastic because his products don't go on sale very often. So Michelle15, and that is also, I actually have to check on this, and I mentioned this in a vlog. I don't know if that went up already. I think it did. I think that coupon code is also an affiliate code. So if you use that code, you get 15% off, and I believe I get a small commission on the sales. So just FYI, I just wanted to let you know. So that is it. Those are my favorites from January. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys also for like the amazing comments that I've been getting on my vlogs. So many of you have been like, this is so great. I feel like I'm getting to know you. I feel like we're actually chatting. I feel like I'm sitting down with a friend. And that was my motivation behind doing more vlogs, is that I just wanted to connect with you guys some more. But I love these sit down videos, and I know you guys do as well. So these aren't going away. I definitely will continue doing favorites because I just love doing favorites. I love like these roundup videos, but I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.